In today's episode, you're going to meet someone named CJ, a very bubbly and yet powerful and bold energy. She has a lot she wants to do in her life, wants to achieve things and help the people around her and inspire others, but she is burdened by her self doubt, procrastination, fear of failure and judgment, and the overall feeling like she's living two different lives. The one side of her that says she can, and the other side that says she absolutely cannot. And if you also haven't seen the very first episode with Victor, you're going to click this button right over here. And if you're also interested in having me run you through a free guidance session, I only have 2 spots remaining. And so if you want to take advantage of it, click the button down below and apply for it. Let's get into something I'm really excited about. So let's see how this culminated into how you self-sabotage in your life. And so let's go into that. What does self-sabotaging look to you? And how does it manifest? How long have you struggled with it? And I already have a lot of like I said, I've been thinking about you the whole week. So I have all the notes of everything you've said, and I watched your
My
podcast. So
application was like this
I
long.
loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, look, I think I've struggled with this. Like outwardly, I'm a very confident person, and then da da da. Like I can, kind of move my way through situations, and everything's fine. But I think innately, when it comes to like me doing stuff for myself, my head, it is like. And I remember my mother even having this conversation with me. She's like, I don't understand why you get this like self doubt from, because in theory, my parents gave me everything I needed. They were very supportive, in that Asian parent way. But like, still, I think they were fantastic in that way, giving us every opportunity that we wanted to do. So like, it was just something innate, and I don't know where it came from. And then I have these moments where I get really like, yeah, I can do everything, and then I don't know. It manifests in procrastination. It manifests in not going for things. It manifests in not trying hard enough, because like if I work hard and then something doesn't happen, well, like it just showed that I wasn't capable. But if I didn't work hard and I didn't get it, it's fine, because I didn't really work that hard. It's that really silly cycle that you get into.
Is it very
Um,
like hyper? Is it very hyper extremes? So you'll have moments where you will, inflate yourself to feel big and powerful and capable, but then all of a sudden, when met with a speed bump, then that would
yeah.
absolutely make your so. And when you said your brain does this, more specifically, are you saying that there are the voices? The voices are pessimistic towards you? Are
Yeah, I
they
would
talking
say
down?
it's funny. I don't even hear a voice. It's almost like I just have these two sides of me. And I think I wrote to you saying I can like see myself on one side of a river, right? And I can see the other person. And I'm here and the other person's there, and she's like the version of me that I see, that one side of me knows I can be, which is successful, loud, unapologetic, living her authentic life, and like doing the things that I innately know I can do. But between us, there is this like wild river with like rapids, and there's no boat, and I don't have a life jacket, and there's no bridge, and I don't know how to get to her. I can see her and I'm like, there I am. How do I get to you? And I'm just stuck here being like, ah. So, and I live in this duality all the time. And no one else will sabotage me the way I sabotage myself. No one. I will, it's like I get annoyed at my husband when he tells me, you can do this. Like it's almost like I'm like, why are you telling me that I can do something when I know I can't? Or half of me tells me I can't do it.
Gotcha. So then, would you say when something comes in that is going against something you want to do, if it's not coming in as words, is it coming in as a picture? Is it coming in as a moving image, or is it coming in as an emotion?
An emotion. And it's an emotion. It's not someone being like, look, the only thing I can say maybe word emotionally is like, you can't do it. Like, you're not smart enough. You don't have the skill set. You don't have the experience. Like, who would want to listen to you? And I'm speaking more in the words of like doing my podcast and being like big about this. Um, but then if I'm, in bed at night, just about to go, and I'm like, I have these big ideas about like, oh my God, I'm going to do this. And I'm super capable. And then I wake up the next day and I go to do the work, and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, I can't do it. And then I'll find like 1,000 other things to do rather than the thing that will actually help me get to where I need to go. That's how it manifests itself. It's like this, like these bursts of like, I can do it. I'm like capable of anything in the world. And then when push comes to shove, sometimes I do it. Like, even doing the podcast, I felt like a fire up my ass and I just did it. But then when it came to like doing more, it was like, oh, but I get caught up in perfectionism a lot, which is really just masking like, I can't do this. Can I really do this? I can't do this. No, it has to be perfect. But then it never becomes perfect because things can't be perfect. You have to steamroll. And yeah, I'm not good at the steamroll. I get too caught up in the details.
So it sounds like you experience the emotion, and the emotion is, what would you say the emotion is specifically that comes up when you are starting to get doubtful? Like, what is the emotion you're feeling? Is it dread? Is it fear? Is it
It's like
anxiety?
frazzled. Yeah, it's probably like I feel frazzled, like I feel a little bit overwhelmed by it, and then just like heavy. I just feel like heavy,
Oh,
like
okay. Like melancholy, like a melancholy heavy.
yeah, yeah, probably like that, and just
Okay.
like an existential dread,
Okay. Oh, so it's actually it's a very it's a big deal. Like when this emotion comes in, it's like
It
a
can
big
be.
deal.
Yeah, to
Okay.
the point where the thing that I'm trying to work on, or what I'm trying to do in my therapy sessions, because it just I know, like half of me knows I can do what I set out to do, what I have intentions of. But then there's this other side, as you said, like I get like a speed bump comes, like um I don't get the feedback I want, or someone doesn't reply to something, or something doesn't do so well, and I'm like, there you go. I knew this would not happen. I can't do this, and my resilience is just it's a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a struggle. Okay, so then what it sounds like is you feel the emotion. So the
Hmm.
emotion comes up. After the emotion comes up, it'll cycle itself into some kind of dialogue. So you'll feel the
Yeah.
emotion, and then you'll say, "Oh no, this is a signal that I can't do it. I'm not
And
capable
then
of it. I don't have the skills." And then you just go on and on and on, right?
I avoid it.
And then you avoid it, yeah. And because you avoid it, that probably makes you feel terrible, makes you feel probably guilty and maybe
Yeah.
embarrassed, ashamed. Am I on the right track here?
Yeah. But and also
Gotcha.
then but it's like there's nothing to be ashamed of if you didn't really try so hard to begin with, right? But yes, it is. It's that thing of like, why didn't I do that? Like I'm not a person who lives in regret. I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And that's why I do believe that even we're here today and I'm doing a lot of work on myself, because like it just got to a point where I have a kid now. And if I'm wanting him to be the best version of himself, whatever that looks like, I have to also show up and not hide in the shadows, because I know that that's
Well,
not
that's
me as a
great.
person.
No, that's really great. I really appreciate, you sharing and doing this because I know it's difficult. It is very vulnerable
Yeah.
and it's difficult. And it's
Yeah.
hard to have a mirror held up to see, certain parts of yourself. But it's going to be a freeing experience for you. It really, really is. So it's really good. But let's circle back now again to because I'm trying to hone in on understand the what I call loop patterns, right? So loop patterns are
Yeah.
essentially a cycle of emotions, thoughts, and images. Every person will have one start at a specific point. So for you, it's emotion first. You'll feel an emotion. That emotion is heavy, weighted, melancholy, sort of dread. And that starts to kick in, which then makes the dialogue in your mind go, I can't do it. That's not possible. I
You're
don't
not
have the
capable.
capabilities. You're not capable. Yeah, it's like a self worth type of
It's a self-worth
challenge.
issue. Like even
Yes.
looking anywhere and I'm like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I don't have that. Like I wouldn't be able to do that. It's like I already count myself out of it, because do take I put too much pressure on myself about like I'm trying to get better at that. It was like if I applied for something and I didn't get it, I'd be like, oh, of course. Of course. Like, of course. Why did I think I could do that?
Yes, and then that what that does also circles you. Once, let's say, you avoid the thing and you've supposedly failed it, there's a bit of a confirmation that there's,
Confirmation
look,
bias.
I was
Yeah.
right, like I was true, like
You're
this
right.
is what happened. But then
I know.
probably because of that experience that is uncomfortable and not who you want to be, which then slingshots you back into a big hyper goal, which then pushes it past your comfort zone, way beyond your
Yeah.
comfort zone. So then when you try to attempt it, you don't feel capable, and then you're in this like over and over and over and over again. That's what it seems like watching you. That's what loop patterns are. But The deeper thing about a loop pattern is there's a what I call a prophetic story. So
Okay.
prophecy story. So there's a story, a narrative that is sitting within you that you are unconsciously trying to prove and validate over and over again. That's
Yeah,
what loop patterns do.
that sounds
In a
about right.
more deeper way, these are complexes. So what is a complex? So a complex essentially is something happens during your childhood. It could be multiple things. It could be a single event that is fused with the memory and the emotion that you felt at the time. And what that happens is it forms a knot. This knot starts to act almost like a micro personality to you. It has almost a mind of its own to a degree. And what it tries to do is protect you moving forward. So if it recognizes something that seems familiar to what caused this knot in the first place, it'll do whatever it can to protect you. And the way it can often protect is through language that is not serving you. It's not serving you very well. It'll
Mm.
interject emotion and make you feel certain things, and then it gets you to divert. When outside of that kind of space, you feel like, why am I doing this? Like I feel like I'm capable. I don't understand why this happens to me.
Yeah,
But that's how
and then,
powerful these things are. Now let's expand on that. So I know there was one thing you mentioned in the application that you said there was a test you took that provided you an answer that said you're more capable of being an admin slash clerk, and that was a very devastating moment for you. So can you expand on that? Share that with me again, just so I get the full details.
so when I was in primary school, and I'm trying to figure out if I don't think this would have been in Hong Kong because I was like under 7, but it must have been in Singapore. And I went to a really nice school, so I don't know why they decided to roll this thing out. But I remember I was like quite an ambitious kid. Like I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted like a commercial airline pilot. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be like a big journalist. And we were given this test where it was like an aptitude test that would tell us like what our future career could be. And so I did it, super excited. And then they gave it back to us. And everyone's like opening theirs and like, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. And I was like, yeah, it's going to tell me I'm going to be president of the world. And it was like best suited to, I can almost see the words on the page. It's like best suited to admin slash clerical, like a librarian. And I was like, what? Like I remember the feeling, like I remember my shoulders going inwards and just being like, oh my gosh. And everyone's excited around me. And I'm thinking, holy moly, everything I thought about myself was wrong. Like I'm not this person, who can do these big things. And there's nothing against librarians. We need librarians. We need people that love to do admin and clerical work, but that is not me as a person, as a personality. And then weirdly, even though I studied journalism, when I went to go work in TV, I kind of did a job that was more admin and clerical based and so even though I had aspirations of being the actual documentary maker, the person on camera, even the producer, director, it just never happened. And to be fair, there were life reasons why that happened, but I also think it was a safety net. It was like, yeah, but you can't really do that. Like, yeah, sure, you're creative, but would somebody really pay you to be the one in charge of the set and doing this? Like, I think, like, if I look back at that, I like have these peaks, these little peaks where I like show myself I can do it, but then I'm like, oh, okay, that was a lot. Okay, let's come back down to earth now. And I've revisited this moment so many times. I've done heart healing work twice. I've done a shamanic kind of walkthrough. And still, when I think of this moment, I still like I want to detach that emotion. How can I like just see that as like a funny thing? Like what I would love is next time I talk about this story, I'm literally laughing, and I'm like, what a ridiculous thing that they did to kids. I hope they're not doing that anymore. Like that would be the ideal goal. And I don't know if that's the thing, but why? And this memory has come up more in the last few years, obviously at the point where I'm like, I need to better, like I can't keep going to that scheduling TV role that I was in. I want to be bigger than that.
So it sounds so. Let's jump into that state of mind of that little girl. That little girl that opened that and read what was on that paper and saw to her, a devastating news. What
Yeah.
was she feeling emotionally?
Oh, shattered. It was in my
Shattered.
chest. Yeah, I was like shattered. I can feel it in my chest. I can still like when I've done work, it's always the same place. It's like right in the middle of my chest, and it's like a squeeze. It like does this. My shoulders get I get small. Like I physically got
Where again? Location wise, where?
right right in the middle of my chest here. It kind of
Yeah.
twists, you know.
Okay.
Um.
Did it break your heart?
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Because I always aspirationally like looked up to my parents, like what they did, what their parents did, and like I kind of envisioned that I would also have, you know, big things happen for my life.
And
But
that was a signal to her that everything you thought of was silly because this paper says otherwise.
yeah, yeah, it was. It was a thing of like, oh, okay. So I'm just pretty okay. That's good. That's great.
Hmm.
Um,
Was
yeah,
that, would you say that memory is kind of the genesis of when the sabotaging loop really started to become more prevalent and more dominant in your life? Would you say prior to that memory, you were optimistic and you
I
felt
think so.
excited? Yeah?
I think it was, yeah, because I was a pretty like I would go up to anybody, I'd have a conversation. They always like my name in Sinhalese is apparently like my mom said it's like chatterbox. Like I'd go up to everyone and be like, oh, which is why I thought like I'd be great as a journalist. And it's so aspirationally, like that's where I want to be. But um yeah, and I've always been really good at being able to connect with people, not in like networks that I don't like small talk. Small talk doesn't really work for me. I'm very, ugh, but like I can get deep with people very quickly. And so that really lends itself well to the storytelling medium. But then it's like I keep myself small, when there's no need to. There are people who are far bigger who have less skill, but they're out there and they're doing it. And then it's that thing of like, well, that person is just I don't look at that person like they are that great and they're up there, so I must be even worse than that. So that's good. So I'm just like, why do I bother trying?
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, right, just out of curiosity, right now, who am I speaking to? Am I speaking to what you said earlier, where you can present a very strong, confident persona, while simultaneously there's something within you that is more hurt? Who am I speaking to right now? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah. Probably the person who's like appearing to be like strong and confident, but like inwards is actually like a little fragile.
Can I have access to that girl?
The person inside?
Yeah, because
Okay.
because I want to have a conversation with her. I feel like I want to put the persona, the person who you want to show to me. I want to put that person just aside for a moment, and I want to speak to the person behind that, because that's the person that needs the attention. That's the person that needs to be communicated with, and I'd like to meet her if that's okay.
Okay. Okay. Oh, where's it all-
Give yourself a minute. Give yourself a minute, because I know that's like, it's a kind of it's a big ask, but take your
Mm.
time with it. I edit these videos too, so if you want to pause, for
No, no, it's okay.
5, 10, 15 20 seconds, you can do it. It doesn't matter at all. Right?
Yeah. No, it's okay. Let's just go straight into it. I think that's better.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No
So
worries.
now my mind is jumping to that memory, that
Mhm.
event seemed to have established to you some level of deep story, a deep
Uh-huh.
prophecy that anytime you have big dreams and big ambitions, you are going to symbolically receive a letter that says that you are nothing more than just this average individual. Not that there's anything wrong with being average, but you have big aspirations for yourself. You want to do something big.
Yeah, I'm not
But
a person who is there doing admin work and sitting quietly in an office. That's just not me. I've never been that person.
and moving forward in your life, it reappears. It reappears when you have these ideas that you want to be big.
Mhm.
Perhaps also from what I'm noticing is you do want to do big things, but perhaps the scale of which you want to rise this is coming in compensation to often the heaviness and weight that you feel trying to combat this narrative that you've been running with. Because that's often what we do. When we have a narrative that is so heavy and it's going against what we want internally, and the soul is a balancing mechanism. It seeks wholeness. It seeks stability. So when the
Yeah.
scale is tipped so far one way, it needs to correct, but it often overcorrects, which is
Yeah.
why you've been noticing that this massive up and down rotation's been happening, where you'll feel really good, but then immediately something the complex seeks to prove you wrong. It
Yeah.
seeks to say, look, you had this plan, but look, again, you didn't get it on your first try. You didn't get it on your second try. Or look, there's people out there who are maybe half your skill level and they're getting way more than you. This is just more
Yeah.
proof that you should just listen to that piece of paper. Does that
Yeah.
sound, yeah?
Yeah, and or people who are way better, which is, a lot of people as well. I'm like, oh, I could never get there because they've done so many other things that I haven't done yet or I can't do, and I will never achieve that. So what do I think I'm doing here? Yes.
So it looks like a fear of failure. Would you say you're
Yes.
afraid to fail?
Yes.
Afraid of judgment?
Judgment is, I think, a big, even though I'm not a person who, like, I don't think I'm a self-conscious person, but I think when it comes to personal stuff, like I remember in my last year of high school, I did like 3 levels of English, and the last one, you had to like write a story. Like you could do whatever medium you want. I chose to write a short story, and I didn't try. This is my thing. I procrastinate. At the very end, I go hardcore into it, especially if it's something I care about. If I care about something, I will eventually like throw everything into it. And I handed in the story and I did all the research. Like it was great, but I'd had a teacher who you have to give your work obviously to be kind of assessed by a teacher in school, and she told me to my face, like, this is not good compared to what everyone else is submitting. And I was like, oh god, okay. And the whenever we had to submit it to the state board, you have to like hand in every draft. So I, like, my dad and I went to the school. It was like a Saturday, and we handed in like boxes and boxes of drafts, submitted it, and I had never really tried that hard in school. It didn't like that, like that's also how it manifested itself. Like I was always just very distracted and like I don't know. But I'd really tried hard at this. And I remember I came home with my dad, closed my door, and I cried for like 3 hours, like nonstop. I was like, I failed my parents. They, they put us through really good schools our whole lives. I failed myself. I failed my parents. I can't do anything. Why didn't I try hard enough for this? Like, I'm going to fail school. Turns out I did really well. I did really well with that one. But I'll never forget, like, because the teacher told me to my face, like, you're not going to do well. But actually, it didn't even matter what she thought, because when it went to the kind of the state level and the assessors, they loved it. And they thought I did really well. And I was like, oh, okay. But man, the doubt I had in myself, and I went, and I've never felt such a failure. But yeah, that was not good. But anyway, yeah,
So fear of judgment, fear of failure, and an overall self-worth challenge. Self-worth is a it seems like a big prevailing thing in your life. So let's now move
yeah,
a little bit to one direction. The I'm going to ask just a couple more questions, and then we're going to get into a bit of an exercise. So the first thing
okay.
is, so you have the mind, the heart, and the soul, right? So
Mhm.
where do you predominantly consciously live? Do you predominantly consciously live in the realm of your mind, in the realm of your heart, or the realm of your soul? It's not, solid fixed one place or another. It's going to be a mix of things. But where would you say you predominantly exist?
I think I'm a very emotional person, so my heart, but I'm trying to be more. When you say soul, for me, it's like the gut. I'm trying to be more intuitive and listen to my gut with those kind of
That's what I
things.
mean too. Gut, yeah.
Yeah, the gut. Yeah. So I'm trying to do more of that, like trust myself, because I think that's a big issue as well. Is like I second guess myself a lot. Like I'll replay. Like my husband's like, "Oh my God, stop! Like it's done. Like
Mm,
I didn't get this thing organized in time," and sometimes it will just plague me, and I'll keep going on in this
mm.
narrative. And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"You
yeah.
can't do anything," and I'm like, I know. I feel bad, and I didn't do it, and I'm really sorry. He's like, I'm not upset about it. Why are you? I'm like, I know, but I should have done better, and like it's just constant thing. Like, why didn't you?
You ruminate a lot.
I ruminate. Yeah. And like when I'm in arguments, more so with him, because I don't really argue with people, but if I'm like, if something is not resolved in my mind, I will go over it and over it. I'm like a broken record until I find like a resolve, and then I can put it to peace. Not all the time. Like sometimes I can just, if I go out for a walk, I can get distracted. But like if I if I'm in a loop, I can fester and fester and fester until I'm distracted or move on to something else, because my brain is like trying to figure out like where it went wrong. Like I need the
Mm,
why, like what happened here, you know?
I understand. So it's you predominantly live in your heart, but you want to access more of your gut. You want to access more of the soul, you would say. That's what you said, right? You want to access more of
Yeah, I
that.
do want to ask, but I do live in my head a lot. Like my head is
Yes.
like
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like I'm in a massive overthinker.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
though
yeah.
I'm very much a person who can let stuff go, like I don't get stressed about things, but when it's something like, overthinking a conversation or a text that you sent, and this is not hangover anxiety. I don't really drink anymore. It's like literally just like, why did I say that? Why did I say that? Like, what was I thinking? Like, why did it just
Mhm.
come out like that? I'll just like be in
It's
this loop.
the well, it's the narrative, right? It's the narrative and the complex coming in because it recognizes something. It's recognizing a particular pattern, and it's
Yeah.
trying to alert you. It's trying to alert you. Like, oh, well, why haven't they replied? Or well, why isn't this working out? And it's just it's
Yeah.
the thing is these parts of ourselves. Before I move on to the next question, they are important because they serve a purpose to protect. That is what they're fundamentally trying to do. The challenge becomes when we allow them to become bigger, and the signal that they usually are good with, they signal to you information, but oftentimes that detector can just go completely out of whack, and it
Mhm.
can signal to you a problem with anything that can be misinterpreted as a sign of judgment or
That
a direction towards failure. If it even gets a sniff of it, it is so the muscle is so strong that it activates, and it just like launches you. You get the emotion, and then like you said, it goes up into your mind, and then like you say, you
yeah,
get stuck there.
I don't think I've ever had it explained so well, but that's literally exactly what happens.
Well, so even more interesting too is this rotation. You know how you say this? This isn't to me a coincidental design. This rotation, loop patterns, when you spin them, right? When you spin it, emotion, thought, maybe some image, back to emotion, thought, and image. As you keep doing that, it creates within itself a gravitational pull. And that gravitational pull feels like anytime you try to get out of it, it like drags you. You feel you can't. You're stuck to its orbit, right? And so you feel you're in it for
Yeah.
however long. So like how long when that begins, how long does it take before it calms down or you're able to actually just snap yourself out of it? Is it an hour? Is it a couple hours? Is it your whole day? Is the whole day a write off?
It really depends on what the situation is. It really depends on it. It really depends, like, what's the context of it? It can be a momentary thing. It can be like last week I had a situation and I was like a zombie for like 3 hours. Like I had to have somebody in the supermarket because I was like talking, I was like trying to talk myself out of the situation or reason with it. And I was like talking to what was in front of me, which was cheese and olives. It looked like I was talking to the cheese and olives, but it was just me talking in my, because I speak out loud a lot as well. I'm in my head. I myself. And a lady came. She was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
we're just thinking." She's like,
Okay.
awkward laugh between the two of us.
So up to 3 hours, maybe even more sometimes.
Maybe even more, yeah. Or like, yeah, exactly. It depends on this. That's really more extreme. It would probably take me a little bit of time. Like, it depends. Am I distracted? Am I around people where I'm very good at kind
Gotcha.
of moving on to the next thing? But if I'm there by myself, like I'm in the house by myself or I'm in the car, because then the loop,
Mm-hmm.
it's like he's just playing over and over and
And
over in my
you just said you just so when it comes up, the cope that you strategize for yourself is to distract, right? So you
tail.
try
Yeah,
your best
I
to
do.
distract. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm
Now,
very good.
okay, so that's the thing. So understand something about distracting yourself. When you distract yourself, although it temporarily gives you some relief, but what's actually happening is you're giving this part of you, the complex within you, more autonomous control because you're not
Okay.
addressing it directly. You're not contending with the emotion. You're not contending with the cycle. If you're not contending with it, and you like divert, it's like looking away from a burning building. It's like, well, I don't see it, right? But it's burning, right? Like it's
Out of
still
sight,
going
out of
on,
mind. Yeah, that's
right?
exactly. And then if it comes up again, you're like, ah, because it's unresolved. As you said, it's unresolved.
And well,
Nothing
think
is.
about it too. Think about this. The more you ignore it, the more it needs to do what? It needs to get your attention. And how does it get your attention? Well, it's got to get louder. The muscle's got to grow bigger. Ironically, the more we look away from it, the bigger the muscle becomes. The more you look at it and the more you contend with it, the smaller the muscle becomes. Because by contrast, you are strengthening your spiritual muscle, as I call it. There's a spiritual muscle you build with contending with these things. If you look upon it and try to understand what it's trying to do for you, and really sitting with the discomfort of it, it's very hard. But if you can sit with the discomfort, what ends up happening is that muscle will start to atrophy because you, the one who sits at the center of your being, is starting to take more of the helm rather, sorry, like taking more control. And it can start to begin to ease back that control. Now, we'll get more into that later, but let's go a little more specific. So we have thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition. Which one of those four are you more predominantly using? Which one do you rely on more? And when I say sensation, sensation is a present tense experience, meaning you're around somebody and your senses go, I don't know him, but I do not have a good feeling about this guy, right? That's like a present tense thing. Intuition is, I don't have a good feeling about what's to come tomorrow. It's future tense. And
Okay.
then feeling is how you describe matters of the heart, empathy, compassion, anger, lust, all these things. And then thinking is, thinking, you think too much. Which one of these four do you predominantly exercise? And which one is the most atrophied out of all of them?
Ooh, I feel like I'm a blend.
Yes, it
But
will be a blend, but there'll always be one more
always
predominant than the other.
one. I'm definitely someone who tries to feel out a situation. So I would say my intuition is like massively on fire with things. But I'd say it's my head. That's my head. It's my thoughts. Yeah, I would say that's the place that is overactive.
Okay. And which one is the most atrophied? Meaning it's not strong at all. Like it's just sort of in the
Oh yeah,
background.
which is not strong. Maybe sensation? Maybe sensation? Because I would feel like the other three are kind of very closely linked, but maybe, yeah, yeah, maybe it's that. Hard to say, but I'm gonna
Sensation.
go with that. Yeah,
Yeah, just
maybe
go with,
this.
don't overthink it. Just go with
Yeah,
whatever in the moment you're feeling. And then
yeah.
what's your relationship with feeling and intuition? In
What is my
general,
really
what's your yeah.
overactive? I feel like I'm a
Okay.
very like I'm a very much a person who feels and senses and is
Big
always looking at
emotions? You feel
big
big
emotion.
emotions?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm big emotions. I'm like an open book. Um, especially as I when I was younger, like I feel like as I've gotten older, I'm trying to be a little bit more in control of like my feelings. Also, it just comes with like growing up. Um, but I am a very emotional person.
Okay. Yes. Okay. And then the intuition? How are you with your intuition?
I'm getting much better at it.
You're getting much
Much
better
better.
at it.
I'm really trying to because I do find like when I do just like listen to that, I'm kind of a bit into human design. And so I have that like splenic intuition and I'm as I'm learning to trust it more, and that's what I'm trying to do. I do find better things are happening, but it's a process, right? Because I still don't trust myself. And I think I mentioned that to you. So it's like I know that when I listen to myself, I make better choices and things go in the better direction, but I'm still doubting that. Does that make sense? It's again, it's like duality. And it's like, no, but CJ, when you just trust your gut, things work out. They always do. But then there's still part of me that's like, but you can still fuck this up.
Yes, yes. Because the reason why you can't trust your intuition is because intuition needs a clear filter for it to deliver information to you that is more aligned. If your complex is not dealt with, it will filter through your intuition. So you can get an intuition that something bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna something bad's gonna happen. The intuition can be off simply because the filter that it's seeing itself through is, well, predictably I messed things up or I'm not capable of it. So then
Yeah.
what's your intuition going to do? Your intuition is going to signal to you that something bad's going to happen. But then simultaneously, that river analogy, there's a part of you within you that is trying to pull itself forward, and it gives you every once in a while good intuition, a good
Yeah.
sense of what's going to happen. But you're not able to discern between the two, and they're also in combat with each other.
Yeah, they're fighting. They're battling. This is the problem. I'm battling myself.
Yes. Yeah.
War.
So I'm the exact same thing. So this is why I do this, because it was something that I struggled with really a lot for a long time. And I was a competitor in jiu-jitsu, in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I did very
Wow.
well at it. But and I won provincial like provinces, and I've won provincials multiple times. I've won third place at the World Championships for Team Canada. I've done well, but the fear of failure was the most gripping thing in my life. And the reason why, it was multiple things, but one of them, which I feel is also your situation as well, culturally growing up, the culture I grew up in, failure was not a good thing. It was seen as bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Failure is a sign of, a lack of skill, either a lack of commitment, or you just don't have it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
by comparison, I had, family friends, I had people around me. And again, I was born in Iraq and I moved to Canada when I was 3. So I dressed different. Talked a little different. And so I didn't click right away. And that feeling of separation created in me a inferiority complex that I had to become bigger than everybody because that was the way to get attention.
Maybe that's,
But
yeah. Yeah.
but in me doing that, I was betraying the deepest part of myself. The deepest part of yourself is abundant, infinite, loving, can achieve whatever it wants to achieve, but not because it needs to cope with something, but simply because it feels called towards a mission that you feel you have to do. And until I was able to recognize it and run through a process for myself, it was controlling me. And
Wow.
now, after 14 years of doing jujitsu, I decided my heart's not in that anymore as much. And my heart is in this. My heart is in helping people get out of their own way. And what I see in you is a lot of what I see in myself, also because, I mean, these are the people I'm trying to reach out to. But am I wrong? Am I correct, rather, when I say culturally there was an influence there as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, coming from, an Asian background, the kids around you are not to say that people aren't, but there's a different expectation. There is a different expectation, and you do feel like as the kid of immigrants who are different from you kind of do like what you said is like you have to be bigger and better. You do have to work harder, to be noticed and to have a place at the table. That's just that is just how it is. And I think, yeah, that actually is very apt as a
Yeah.
description.
And what
Does.
ends up happening is you need to stand out, because who wants to be outcasted? Who wants to be left to the sidelines? No one wants to do that. And especially somebody who, like you and like me, we're driven, we want to do more, right? But however, the drive to want to do more was contaminated with this pain that you're not good enough. And because you feel you're not good enough, you are shooting like this target goal that is creating cognitive dissonance. So what that means is what you say and what you do, if the gap between them is too large, your brain is going to call your bluff. And what
Yeah.
it's going to say is it's going to go, your history proves that's not true. So why do you think I'm going to believe it now? So for example, there's two kinds of mantras, okay? The two kind of mantras are identity-based mantras and vision-based mantras. An identity-based mantra is an individual you want to transition yourself into. So, for example, if I'm, let's say, a very fearful person, an identity-based mantra is I want to become the most courageous person in the world. I want to be the person that can deal with all conflict and people that people can rely on. A vision-based mantra is a future tense thing. So in 2 years, 3 years, I want to have X amount of money to be able to be independent. The identity-based mantra and the vision-based mantra can overlap. So you can have an identity-based mantra for 2 years down the line. In 2 years, I want to be able to, speak to anybody in any room and not feel shy about who I am. The problem becomes, or rather, I should say, the problem starts to happen when an identity-based mantra is going in extreme opposites with who you are today. So if, let's say, you are a fearful person by nature, and you tell yourself, I am now the greatest, I'm the bravest in the world. No one's braver than me, which is often what you hear in more self-help communities and personal development communities. And it has good intentions, but what it's actually doing to you is, again, it's creating this massive gap because your brain is just a evidence-based machine. And so it's going to go, whoa, wait a minute. Your whole life, you've avoided conflict. You've never dealt with it. You've always ran from it. And now you're going to try to convince me, the complex, that you're not at all. In fact, you're the opposite. Yeah, okay. And guess what happens? It will, in a weird, bizarre way, intentionally sabotage the next thing to prove itself. And so you will then make this massive target goal. I'm going to stand up for myself the next time it comes my way. And life has a very funny way of balancing yourself. The soul and the whatever we are connected to, the universe or God, seeks to create harmony. And so it's feeling imbalance here. And so what it does is it puts you in front of a situation you're not ready to handle yet. Yeah. And you don't do it. And because you don't do it, then the boom, with big gapped goals, big emotions come in. Big emotions come in and they say, you can't do this. Oh my God, why did I even bother? And that makes you feel heavy. And then there you go right back into the cycle. And it's the same thing with vision-based mantras as well. They act the same way. So then how do you do this effectively? To do this effectively, you need to make sure that the identity-based mantra is giving you a target that is just far enough from you, that is, giving you action to move towards, but not so wide that your alarm in the mind is going to go, yeah, okay, you're not doing this. I'm calling your bluff. So for example, instead of saying I'm the bravest person in the world, a mantra would be, I am in the process of becoming a braver person every single day. And instead of tackling every conflict that comes my way, I'm going to try my best to deal with at least one in the next week or in the next 2 weeks. And if I at least try, I'll be happy about it. What happens when you hit the sweet spot? The brain will not fire off a bluff. It won't say, no, I don't buy it. It won't do that. It'll sneak itself in, but it's just within the realm of what's capable to you that then you're actually able to move towards it. And then the mantra will adjust and adapt based on who you are each time. Okay. And as you start to get better at it, you will then move on to the next one and the next one and the next one. I've seen this time and time again. Within 6 months, you'd be amazed how far you go, but it's micro steps. And for you, your challenge is the vision-based mantra. You're setting a massive goal. That's not that you can't reach it, but you are not relating it to your capabilities and your strengths and weaknesses today. And because you're not having those in alignment, it's in a place you can't reach. And every time you try to... Yeah, and you can't. It's on the other side of the river. And you find that you're trying to go towards it and you can't because you don't currently have the skills required. Doesn't mean you can't, but you don't currently have it. And so you're launching yourself into this repeated cycle of highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows. And why this is happening? Because you've allowed the complex to be in charge. And it's no fault of your own because you had to growing up. It's just what you had to do. But as you're getting older now and you're starting to recognize it, you can start diverting the attention and the control towards your deepest center. And that's what we're going to do the exercise today, okay? So let me know when you're ready, and then we can actually do this practice.
Let's get straight into it.
So you're going to have to use active imagination, and I want you to allow the emotions to move when they move. Allow them to go. Like, don't choke them, don't fight them. Let things play as they may. Okay? Okay. What I want you to do is get as comfortable as you can. So get super comfortable, relax, maybe even take a sip of your drink.
Okay.
I want you to begin to close your eyes because I want you to sort of enter into your own world for a little bit. Take as many breaths as you like, but the objective of the breath is I need you to slow everything down. Slow down your heart, slow down the body, slow down your mind, and just get into a state of serenity. That can be with deep breaths, long inhales, slow exhales. And I'm going to ask you some questions along the way and answer them as quickly as possible without thought. Just, I would say, where it feels natural. Just bring it up where it feels natural right away. Don't try to overthink it. Don't try to ruminate on it.
Mm-hmm.
And a quick answer so that we can proceed and move into the next phase.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, as you do this, where is your attention? Is your attention in your mind? Is your attention in your heart? Or is your
So
attention... Where is it?
it's in my mind. I'm scared.
Okay. That's okay. This is a safe environment. You don't have to be
I
afraid
know.
of nothing can happen. The worst thing that
Nope.
can happen is you let something go.
Which is the fantastic thing. But sometimes you hold on to the thing that scares you the most because it's a safety blanket.
It protects you. It protects
Yeah.
you. But
Yeah.
there's, like you said, there's two individuals. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I want you now, imagine your consciousness, your attention like a flashlight. Where you point it is what it will illuminate. I want you to take this and start to point it lower into your body, past your solar plex, into the stomach region, and where if you rest there long enough, as I say this, you'll begin to feel maybe a little bit of butterflies, maybe some tingly sensations.
Mm-hmm.
What I want you to do is visually imagine this space within you, an orb. It's a white, bright, glowing orb. You can allow it to move. It can, it can have a warp design. Make it yours. But I want you to imagine that sitting at your center.
Mm-hmm.
Further settle into it and connect to it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me who that is?
It's me and my fear of judgment sitting there. It's like looking at that.
Mm-hmm. That center, there
Mm-hmm.
is no fear in that. The fear is in your mind. What
Mm-hmm.
you're feeling there when you said the first answer, and then you allowed your thoughts to come in. You said me. Who that is right now, if you stay there, is you. And not the you are displaying to people every day. It is the you that you're most intimately connected with that is also simultaneously connected with the universe, with God, whichever language you want to use, but it's
Mm-hmm.
connected to the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to sit within that, further expand its power. By that meaning, allow the feeling to grow and stay concentrated there. And if your mind starts to come in, that's okay. Just re-divert your attention back in that center. I'm going to leave you to this for at least 5 to 10 seconds before I jump back in. While you're sitting here, I want you to think about the memories that have caused you pain, the sabotaging moments, the memory of that little girl who opened that envelope and was told that you were not meant to be anything other than this. I want you to imagine that, but stay in that center as you do it. Don't move your attention upward. Stay in the middle. I want you to also imagine your relationship with your father, your relationship with your mother. I want you to think about all the times you've gotten in your way. Think about all the times that you've told yourself you can't do it. You are not worthy of it. Just stay within it. Allow things to flow.
It's just fear of disappointing them. Like I feel like I didn't live up to what they deserved.
Stay in the middle. Stay in the center. Rest with that. I want you to rest with this emotion. I want you to rest in the center again with that orb, this bright, powerful light. This orb, I want you to tell me, is there anything inherently wrong with this center, with the deepest you? Is there anything fundamentally wrong?
That I'm not good enough, that I can't do it. Like this orb can't really shine. You know, it can't, like it's just
That's your
like
mind. That's your mind. That's your mind giving it a label, projecting a title onto it.
yeah.
But this entity, this being within you, if it is connected to the bigger picture, to the universe, to God, is this thing inherently a mistake?
No.
Okay. Settle with that.
Okay.
Is this feeling within you, the deepest you, is it inherently incapable of doing things?
I hope not. I don't think so. I don't know. I like to believe that everyone is capable, is born, and with all the possibilities in the world. But I don't know. Maybe I feel like I was broken or something. Like I wasn't born perfect, and I
Very
wasn't.
good.
Yeah.
Very good. So stay in the center. The mind's coming in a little bit more again. Stay in the
Mhm.
center. Focus on the feeling. Focus on the experience. What tells you that you are inherently broken is not what you are feeling within you right now. That is the mind, that is the complex projecting itself onto it.
Yeah.
But really sit with this, okay? Really sit with this. It's really important. Imagine your son. Imagine this deepest part of him. Is the deepest part of him inherently wrong?
No, of course not.
Is
Of course,
he broken?
no. Unless I
Un
break it. No.
yeah. Unlovable.
No, God, no.
Is this center of his the same as yours?
I don't know what's more pure. It's unbroken yet. It hasn't been. Ugh.
It is not broken. This being within you, stay with it as much as you can. Don't lose the focus with it.
Yeah.
This deepest part of you is inherently perfect. However, it can allow the exterior to be a work in progress.
Yeah.
But what has happened is you have had a bit of an inversion. The inversion has been that this deepest part of you is imperfect. Therefore, I need to make the exterior look perfect. But I want you to invert it for a moment. I want you to imagine right now deeply with full focus that the exterior is a work in progress. And the interior that you have is perfect. It has to be. It can't not be. It's connected to everything. It is. If you stay with it, it is. This feeling that's been with you your whole life. And if I ask you now, if this feeling within you, this deepest you, is inherently perfect, What has been telling you? Where has these words of sabotage, these words of pessimism and self-doubt come from? Where have they really truly existed?
They've come from outside. It's not.
Yes, they come from outside.
Yeah,
And where have they landed and where have they ruminated?
in my head.
Okay.
Yeah, they've
Stay in the
ruminated.
middle. Stay in the center with it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Slowly bring up the river. Okay? I want you to fully imagine it. And I want you to see on the other side the person you say is unaccessed. Let's begin to walk towards the river. Can you describe to me what it sounds like, what it feels like there? But remember, stay within your center as you do this the entire time. Keep your stomach engaged, keep the butterflies moving, stay there as best you can, and describe to me what you see.
It's a wild river. It's really large. There's no way to get across it. You couldn't swim through it. There's no bridge. I don't have a life jacket there. And there's no one else there. It's just me and this other person that I can see in the distance, but I desperately want to get to her. But it just seems like it's never going to happen, because how would you get over this? Like you can't walk through it. You can't swim through it. There's nothing else to help you. So it's almost impossible. I'd have to fly,
Okay.
and I can't fly.
Okay. Let's stay there for a moment. Stay in that center.
Mm-hmm.
You've been the main actor in this play, but
Mm-hmm.
you have to also know that you are simultaneously the director. This river is directed by you, not the conscious you, but the unconscious you. So here's what's going to happen. I want you to walk towards the river, and I want you to begin to take your first step. When you step inside the river, it will
Yeah.
be up to, you tell me, up to your knees, up to your
Up to my
waist.
waist.
Okay. Step inside and stand in there. What I want you to imagine is the current is moving and it's strong, but you are able to stay put. And on the other side, the you that you desire is kneeling with her arm reaching forward. Stay concentrated and stay in the center. Begin to move towards her, one step at a time. Feel the impact of the water. And again, the water is a symbolism of the chaos you've had, moving from place to place, the chaotic swings of emotion. That's what these represent.
Mm-hmm.
But stay within it. Don't divert. Don't distract. Stay inside. Walk towards her. And when you grab her hand, I want you to know and feel that the gap was never really there. It has just been sitting within you. This feeling you feel right now at your center has always been there, but its light has been dimmed because of piles and piles of language, memories, experiences that have given you this impression that it's not there, that it's unaccessible, but it is. So grab her hand. Feel the mutual experience of you pulling yourself and her pulling you.
Yep.
What is the first thing you want to do right now while on the other side of that river for the first time ever? What do you want to say to her?
Oh my God, we just hug. We literally just hug first.
Do it.
Like,
Can you do
yeah.
that?
Yep. I
And
feel
stay
like
in that?
she's both strong. We're like, she helps me up, and I like look at her, and the first thing we do, we just like mad embrace.
And stay in that. Enjoy the experience, feel the experience. And I want you to slowly have a realization that this person wasn't anywhere that you couldn't access. All she needed was for you to enter the chaos. Don't distract from the chaos. It is the distraction that has caused the gap of that river to get wider and wider and the current to get crazier and crazier. As you hug her, imagine both of you converge, and the only thing left is just you. And settle in that. Feel the experience. Let's summarize. Is this feeling within you, this pure energy, this orb, this light, is it inherently wrong?
No.
Is it inherently destined to fail?
No.
Is it perfect?
I mean, I don't know if it's perfect, but what is perfect? But it's
Remember,
it.
the exterior is a work in progress. The part of you that
Yeah.
wants to improve, the part of you that wants to become smarter and wiser, yes, that is a work in progress. But remember, this thing that gives you life, this power within you is perfect. It's operating within you. You're
Yeah.
functioning, you're moving, you're living, you're feeling. It works perfectly.
It works perfectly. It does. It does.
Accept that fully. Sit within and accept it. And so do you recognize that there's been a inversion? The inversion has been that you've believed, because of no fault of your own, the upbringing and the experiences that have told you to some way, and you've told yourself that this feeling is imperfect. And therefore, my exterior has to be perfect. I need to act perfect, look perfect,
Yeah.
convey that I know. And that's been causing you the suffering because it is out of alignment. How does it feel right now to begin to realize that this feeling within you, the woman on the other side of that river, was accessible all along, and that the feeling within you and this, your existence, is perfect? And then what does it also feel to you now, knowing that your exterior can be a work in progress? So you really can't fail.
It feels it feels good. And when I was crossing the river, there were rocks and little things that I could cling onto to get me to the other side. Like I could feel them. I was holding them. I was, and then it didn't seem so daunting getting across the river, like just like I do when I really fight for something. I was able to overcome it. And it feels light. Feels good.
Very nice. Let's stay in it, absorb it, accept it.
Hmm.
Slowly begin to exit, but before you do, maintain this feeling, maintain this experience at your center. As you exit and begin to open your eyes and begin to resume our conversation, as you exit, maintain and keep it. So do it at the pace you feel that will allow that to happen.
Oh,
Very good.
yeah. Wow.
That was very good. Very, very good. So here's what happened
Hmm.
as you settle into to this this slight shift. You've lived your life having, like I said, an inversion. You've
Mm-hmm.
believed that this feeling within you is imperfect. Therefore, because you felt that this was imperfect, you've had to create this persona that you feel burdened to carry. This complex has gained power. It's grown its muscle because we've been trying to distract ourselves from it, to move away from it. And as we've moved away from it, it's become larger and larger and larger. What we just did right now was exercising your spiritual muscle in that deepest part of you that knows that you can be better than that you know that you can do what you want to do in life, and that failure is not a signal that you're not worthy of it, because you know that in a deep level. And it's just this muscle's become bigger, which is
Yeah.
why as we were doing this exercise, it was like the attention was here, but it would like come up here and then we'd have to bring it down and then it would come up
Yeah.
here. It's natural because that's what it's been doing your whole life. The
Yeah.
exercise for you is as you maintain connection there, you ground this in action. You ground it in how you speak to your son, how you speak to your husband, how you apply to your work. Because
Yeah.
understand this, this within you, this within you has always been there, and it'll always be there whether you fail or whether you blunder or whether you're successful. It won't change. It'll always be there because it's connected to the bigger picture that's calling you forward to do something. And the more you resort to giving the complex power, the more it'll hijack your attention and it'll hijack your actions, your thoughts, and your emotions. And so, what is it also you have to do on top of this? When you begin to notice the cycle, you'll begin to feel a emotion. That for you, it's emotion first. When you
Yeah.
feel the emotion, do your absolute best to enter into this state that we just did right now
Yeah.
and engage with the emotion. Engage with it. What I mean by it is don't fall for its spell. Just allow whatever feeling is happening to play. Let it play out within you. The idea is if you allow it to get to the next stage of thought and then back down to emotion again, the more it spins, the harder it is to exit and break out of it. And now you're
Yeah.
left stuck for an hour to 3 hours. Versus if you interrupt it at its early phase, you create atrophy, and then while
Mm-hmm.
simultaneously growing your spiritual muscle, this feeling within you will gain more power. And what ends up happening is the complex won't go away. And this is the reality of it. It will
Yeah.
not go away. This will always be a part of you. But it doesn't have to be a signal that like blunders everything you do. It can simply just be something of an assistant, someone that helps you, that just gives you a different perspective to pay attention to. But ultimately, it's the decision of the person at the center, which is you. Like, you know what I mean when I say the deepest you?
Yeah.
It's that deepest part of you. Okay? And that's what you have to ground. That's what you have to build relationships with. It's hard. It's not easy. But the
Yeah.
more you do it, you will grow in confidence in a way that is different. It's calm confidence, not,
What I'm striving for.
hubris. Yeah,
Yeah.
not hubris confidence. That's different. Which is why also when I thought about you and your life and the fear of judgment, I was also thinking about your podcast. And also I was thinking about your relationship with money, how you say you have a very acidic relationship with it, that you
Yeah.
feel it's this force of dominance, that someone who has a lot of money must to some inherent degree maybe be immoral in some way. Am I right or wrong with that?
Yes. Yeah. I have a moral, an ethical and moral complex with money. And so I feel like I don't want it to hang around, probably because I'm worried about me being like that and me being one of those people that I judge because, yeah, I think it can, money's a tool, right? And it's what people do with it. But it it is often used as a tool for bad things, and people get
It is.
greedy.
But what's happened to you along the way is you have had to suppress your energy because of how you've conflated them. And the guilt of it has caused you, as you've been moving forward in life, to self-deprecate. I was
Yeah.
thinking about the name of your channel as well, Fiscally Challenged Podcast, right? It is implying that there is inherently something off with you and that you bring people on to help and to talk you out of a particular frame of mind. You have established a frame. The complex has established the frame. It
Yeah.
has taken control of. It has taken control. Sorry, that was my daughter. It takes control of the narrative of the channel itself. That's how powerful these things can be. That's how infectious they can be. I was thinking something too about your channel. I'm not saying do this, but it's just something to play with. I was like, Fiscally Challenged Podcast. I was thinking, well, the way you seem to be driven towards is a fiscally sovereign podcast. Somebody who seeks to give people power to be their own person, to stand up for what they believe in, to teach them that money doesn't have to be a force of dominance, that it doesn't need to be that way, because you can be an example of that rather than someone who needs to suffocate their own power in order to sort of quell this morality that you feel you have to live up to. But again, there's nothing inherently wrong with you. You can be also, another thing I thought about as well, because there was someone in the application you said you admired. Who was it that you admired in that application?
Oh.
Yeah, there was this person, I think they create documentaries, was it?
Oh, Louis Through.
Yes. You
Oh,
want to
yeah,
be someone,
yeah.
yes. You want to be someone who expresses a mission, an impact, a story you want to share with the world. And you thought your whole life that the admin clerk was actually a detriment to it. But you ever heard of Ananda? This was Buddha's closest attendant. The purpose of this individual was that it was in charge of keeping the Dharma, so the truth that the Buddha would speak of. His role is one of the most coveted roles because he is the keeper of truth. He is quite literally the admin. But what's interesting about your life, you are both simultaneously two figures. You are the individual that has the skill and capability of the admin. You can write, you can organize. In order to create movement, you need organization. But you're also simultaneously the person who feels compelled to move forward, to actually do something with their voice. So while you thought your whole life the admin clerk was actually an issue, it's actually one of the key factors that's going to allow you to move forward. That's going to actually allow all this to work. Who's going to organize it? Who's going to make all this work? You've just been harping on the idea that this is a signal that you're not good enough. But it's actually a signal that you have the perfect puzzle piece to do what you need to do.
I mean, hilarious that you used a Buddhist reference because I'm actually Buddhist. So you just took me back to like Buddhist school on Sundays.
Well,
Why did I forget about it? Yeah.
So that was screaming to me as I was reading your application and then looking at your podcast and just trying to like sit with your, as much as I can, as much as I can get information from those things. But that was what was screaming to me.
I mean, interestingly, actually not going in that direction anymore with the podcast. I'm actually parking that because I did realize that it had such a negative overtone, and I can't. One thing that I'm trying to do in my life is like that self-deprecation has become such a big part of my personality. Like, honestly, it's almost like how I can like relate to people and be my vulnerable self is like talking down. I'm not good at that. I'm like, no, stop that. And it starts with the podcast. It starts with other things, but like, I can't represent myself like that. So actually I'm working on a new one that is about money, but it is about that empowerment. It's about like actually waking people up about what money is, but that it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, as you said. And I'm trying to, that is a work in progress. I will still always have an issue with the fact that like, there are stories around me that are happening right now, and it's to do with money, and it's creating a lot of greed, and, and I have a very strong sense of injustice within me. I always have. That doesn't make me a better person, but it's just, unfortunately, like things can ruminate in my head, see things that aren't right in the world, and it keeps me up at night. It makes me a very passionate person. But I can't have that be my identity, especially for my career. That's just not what I want. And I did that podcast, and it was, it's good. It got me going. It got the juices flowing, but I'm not going to live in that world anymore.
Nice.
um because I
And here's what's
it's
really important, okay? Moving,
yeah,
this is really important. If you stay within this center experience, accessing the deepest part of you, you will ensure that you are motivated by aligned from an aligned state and not a coping state. Because
yeah,
if we're not careful and not keeping attention on this complex, the guilt, the feeling that you're describing can come into play and can hijack you, and it can allow you to divert your attention from the deepest parts that you have to deal with, because then you can push it on to a cause outside of you. So you have to be very mindful, because you can be passionate about causes, but from that state of alignment, from that state of center, because then you will be infinitely more impactful,
yeah,
infinitely more impactful, because you are the example. You can be example. You don't make yourself an example by putting yourself in a suppressive state that people can look at and like, oh yeah, like keep putting yourself down so that I can know that you're one of the good ones. You can be one of the good ones and be powerful as well. Like, you don't have to be weak in order for you to show that you're strong. It doesn't, because you'll limit yourself,
yeah,
and that
it's
was,
true.
you'll
Totally feel
limit
that.
yourself.
Totally,
Okay, well,
totally.
CJ, this was great. I really appreciate the conversation. I really hope there was some things that opened up to you today, and we were able to access certain parts that perhaps were locked away.
Oh, definitely. And I think you were able to verbalize and articulate things that I've been experiencing or thinking in a way that I haven't been able to do so myself. Like, was like light bulb moments like, yep, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. And I've done, my own fair share of healing and
Mm-hmm.
therapy. And it's always cool to hear another perspective and be like, oh yeah, shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to trust that orb. I'm going to trust my grounding, trust myself. And yeah, gonna
The more you
try.
connect there, the better it'll get, the stronger it'll get. The mind will still
Yeah,
play its part, but it'll be an assistant to you rather than a dominating figure. Okay?
that's
Well,
exactly it.